Hey guys, today I'm going to explain how to start the Paperpot Transplanter in a bed, how to turn around, and then what to do in the center of the bed when you run out of one flat and you're going to start another. So to start, the first thing we do is we get our transplanter right to the edge of the bed, and we get make sure the furrow part of it is right to where your bed starts, and then you're gonna pull it back, and then you're gonna see the beginning of the furrow, and this is where we're going to put our first paper chain. I always keep landscape pins in the end of the transplanter, because I'm going to use them to start, to turn around, and to reconnect in the center. So I put one of these landscape pins through the paper chain and then stick it right down in the end of the bed. So what's going to happen when we start is the first part of the chain will be kind of out of the ground, so we're going to come back and fix that by hand. So we're just going to get it going a little bit first. So I'm a little bit too deep, maybe not actually. Yeah, so I'm going to raise the paper pot up a little bit, and then you'll see in a few feet they'll come back out. See now. Now I can just come back and fix these ones by hand a little bit. And then I'll even adjust the transplanter a little bit further. And from where I go now, it should be okay. So what I'm going to do here at the end is I just take my hands and just bury this stuff in. Just grab some excess soil, bury it in. That should be okay. I can actually now take that pin out. I no longer need that, or I'll use it again. Okay, so when we get to the end of the bed, there's a little bit of a trick to it, and this is mostly relevant to people like urban farmers or people that have shorter beds with some stuff behind them. You can't just walk to the end of the bed. So what I have to do is actually, once the furrow or the back wheel gets to the end of the bed, I lift the back of the transplanter and I just slowly let the fins plant the last couple plugs, and they're kind of getting buried, but that's okay. I'll fix them by hand. Then I come to the end, I rip the last piece, take it out, and I'll just fix these first. So I've got these plugs are a little bit long, and that's why they're burying like this. So, but it's okay, you just fix them. This is why, you know, you really want to plant at the right time. But needless to say, I can just rip these and then just plant them in with my fingers, just like you do old school style. Now, starting again is just the same as we did before. So what I'm actually going to do here is I pre-marked my row to get it straight on the outside. So I'm going to go on my two outside first and then do the two inside afterwards. So I'm just going to get this one started again. So my furrow is right at the front of the bed. Pull to start making that hole. Make my first furrow. Grab my pin. Put it through the plug here. Get it started right there. Morning, how are you? Good. And then we're good. So I had to stop because I've hit my post, and so I can't finish my row. So I'm going to show you a trick on how you can finish it, and you just have to use your hand. So basically I've got enough chain in the chain pots right now that come out to about here. What I'm going to do is I'm estimating that's going to be enough to finish my bed because it's pretty much aligned with where the end of the bed is. So I'm going to tear that off and I'm going to pull these chains out, or just put them here. And then I'm going to take the planter off the bed. Then I'm going to make a furrow with my hands and just finish that last row. Then take my chain pots, lay them down in there, green side up. And then just cover them back up. Just like that. Now you can kind of push them up a little bit on the other side. Like this. And then we're good. We're just about finished our flat, and you can see it's on the tail end and we've got this white thing. So we'll just pull that. It'll pull the rest of it apart. I'll just kind of guide it, let it go. Pull the last bit out like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this right into the ground, and then I'm going to leave about 3 inches on the end, and that's where we're going to start our new chain. I'm going to come all the way, let this drag out nice and straight. All the way. Now you'll see I'll leave a little gap in the furrow there. So now I've got my new chain. Take my pin, put it in there, start it right in there. I even pull the planter back a little bit, make sure I keep my 6-inch distance. And then we're good to go. So that's how we do it. You'll notice this soil was really soft on this bed, and there was sort of 2 combinations of factors that were less than ideal. One is that these plugs are a week later being planted than they should have been, so they're a bit lanky. That means that they kind of get buried a little bit. So you just have to go back and just kind of move them around with your hands. It's not too bad though. The bed is 80% good, so you just got to go back and fix it a little bit. But that's it. So, you know, when you're starting out, just remember to have the furrow line right up to the start of the bed, pull it back for about a couple feet, and then take your chain, lay it down in that furrow, put your pin in, proceed to pull back. Start slow, and once you see they're going in properly, then you can pick up the speed. If they're not burying properly, like they're going too deep or too shallow, you might have to adjust the height of the wheel. And so if they're still getting buried because of that, just go slow, and sometimes you can even lift a little bit up on the back, or even sometimes push down, because if you push down, the leverage will kind of come up, and if you pull up, the leverage on the front will come down. So sometimes it's a bit of play with that. I find the most ideal soil to run this tool in is soil that isn't freshly tilled. These beds were prepped all fresh because we put a ton of compost in them, so they're a little bit soft, which is less than ideal. But if the beds are a bit tamped down and you got a little bit of firmness. I find that's the most ideal conditions. So I hope you guys have found that helpful. If you want to see more stuff, Paperpot stuff, subscribe to the channel, like and share them. Leave your comments and questions below. We're trying to make videos on all the common questions that we get, so we really appreciate you guys' feedback. And if you're just watching this and you don't have a Paperpot transplanter, go to paperpot.co, and we've got everything up there, and we ship all over North America. All right, talk to you guys later.